Flyers Canucks, Vancouver minus 120 at home, 5.5 the total, shaded to the under. This is a Dana Lane game, by the way. He's involved in this game. He has got, I believe, the under. Yes, he does. Philly, Vancouver under 5.5 for Dana. That's his bet on this game, a lower scoring game. It's not a crazy bet to me. I think it makes some sense. Vancouver has trended a little bit back to under the total since that they returned home. Remember, they flew over the total a ton on that East Coast road trip. Product of who they played. Pittsburghs and Islanders, who are going over the total every game. Rangers have been an over team lately. They're playing all of these track meet type of teams. Now, you come back home, you play Toronto. They've been trending more under lately. Play Carolina. They've been an under team predominantly. And now you're seeing Vancouver mold back into that under team. So an under 5.5 bet for Dana in this Flyers Canucks game makes some sense to me. No question about that. Tough spot for Philly. I mean, they had a nice win. They've now all of a sudden strung 2 wins together after that 10-game losing streak, beating Calgary and Edmonton in consecutive games, but it's second of back-to-back on the road, third road game in 4 nights. Tricky spot in Vancouver. There's been no letdown off that great road trip. Win against Toronto, win against Carolina in 2 games since returning home. Continuing to find ways to win and get the job done, Vancouver. So I'd have to lean Canucks here, just from a spot perspective. Not a great spot for the Flyers, and Vancouver has not shown any letdown. They just keep winning, and they keep plugging away, grinding that decent, good effort up and down the lineup every night for Travis Green's team, who's instilled work ethic in this Canuck team. They put it on display most nights. They rarely ever have a real stinker or a real clunker. I mean, the effort has been very, very consistent this season for Vancouver. We'll see if it is again tonight. Alex B. Smith has got an opinion on the Flyers and Canucks game tonight. Alex, go ahead.
Yeah, I think Travis Green. I think we're gonna be, if he can keep this up, we're gonna be talking about him possibly being a Jack Adams finalist. I mean, this is an absolutely incredible effort. I think he's put up with he's had virtually, for lack of a better term, a pile of crap to work with, but he's made it he's made it work out, and this team's looking pretty good. And Philly, I think they've stopped burning down the city after they got 2 wins after the 10 game losing streak that they had now. But it's a tough spot. Three games in 4 nights on the road, and they've won a couple of good games, looking good, so they should feel a little bit better about themselves. But they cannot sleep on this Vancouver team, like you mentioned. They've been playing really well. Now they're starting to get some wins at home. That's also something that's been an issue. They had lost 20 of their last 25 at home, but now they turn things around. So I like Vancouver here in this spot. Not super crazy about laying $1.20 here, but I think they are the better side tonight, and that's a decent enough of a price to jump in with.
Yeah, that's interesting. And it's the one concern if you're backing Vancouver is the favorite in Vancouver games has not done well this year. I mean, it's amazing how many times the underdog has won in Vancouver games. Remember, Vancouver was an underdog the other night against Carolina. Slight underdog, but an underdog nevertheless at home. And guess what? The underdog got the money. And it's been an underdog-dominated type of run here in Vancouver Canuck games for the majority of the season. But, again, Flyers got to overcome a little bit of a tricky scheduling spot. Andrew's also involved in this game in Van City. Andrew, go for it.
Yeah, notable to mention that the over is 7-3 in both these 2 teams' last 10 games. So they're both finding a way to score and finding a way to put up numbers. But I'd have to agree with you guys and what you were saying. And with Dana's underplay in this game, I believe he was on the under. So you said Ian. But looking at this, yeah,
yes,
I do think it's going to be one of those lower scoring games. But Vancouver will dominate, in my opinion. I think that Philadelphia has kind of come to life a little bit. They had that terrible losing streak where they just looked absolutely garbage. I mean, they were going 0 for 7, 0 for 8 on the power play. Their defense, they might as well have just been a bunch of pylons standing at the blue line. They couldn't do anything. And then last night, are you guys impressed by that win against Oilers with, I believe, Brossois? I'm not sure if I'm saying that correctly, but in nets for them. I mean, that's not really impressive for me. That doesn't really, make the Philadelphia
doesn't move
Flyers
the needle. I agree. Yeah,
exactly. Yeah, not to really call one goalie out like that, but it doesn't really get me too excited looking at that. So, and I don't even think it was that fantastic of a game from Philadelphia. And I was bashing Vancouver's decor for a lot of the season so far, but I have to say they've done a great job of moving the puck up the ice. I mean, they're making tape-to-tape passes, long stretch, go-ahead passes to this depth of the Vancouver Canucks. I mean, one thing I do love about this Canucks team is that if you were to do a fantasy DraftKings lineup or a FanDuel, you really couldn't be able to pick someone out who you think is going to be your main scorer for this Canucks team. I mean, it's kind of all over the place, and it's good to see. Like, sometimes you have no idea who's going to be for them, and that kind of sparks my interest as well. And just coming into this game, Philadelphia is, of course, 2-10 straight up. in their last 12 games, if that says anything to you. But I want to make a note just really quickly about the favorites you see on tonight's card, and even though they're not a huge favorite right now, Vancouver, not in this case, but for most cases, as far as bankroll management, as far as units go, it's almost sometimes if you're on a team, if you really like a team, and they're looking at about like minus 150, minus 160, something like that, it's almost better for your bankroll and when you're trying to manage your units to get on that puck line. If you think a team's going to win that much and they're heavily favored that much, you're just buying more. You're spending way more to get that one unit on the money line. Whereas if you think they're going to win, might as well get on that puck line at a plus price. Doesn't matter how, if that's still a low plus price, because you're simply not risking as many units and you're not spending as much to get that. And so if you like a team so much that's so favored, then you might as well get on that puck line. But this is actually one of those games where I'm going to go against my theory in that, because I do think that this will be one of those lower scoring dominant games, if that makes any sense for you guys. So I'm looking at more of a 3-1 game for the Vancouver Canucks.
All right, Vancouver for Andrew in that game against Philadelphia.
Hey guys, thanks for tuning in to our channel. Now, we've put a lot of work into producing all these free videos, so please help us out and keep all our content free for you forever by simply liking, sharing, commenting, and subscribing. Now, not to mention, a visit to our industry-leading website will warm the hearts of all our SBR employees, especially myself. Now, the links are over there to the left, so do check those out. Thanks for watching.